Hi, everybody. Hi, Pink Power. My name is Lauren Smithson. I'm a Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys about some things that I have actually been thinking about and planning for kind of a while. So this has been something that's been kind of in the works for a little while, and I even made a presentation for all of you because that is how important I think this topic is. So without further ado, I'm going to open up my share screen here. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Hey, no? Uh-oh. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Anybody? Oh, good. You can. Okay. Taking a second here. Okay, so leading yourself well and why success really starts with you. Whether we're talking about your Plexus business or just your life in general, success starts with you, and leading yourself well is really important. So let's talk about the 4 pillars of Plexus first here. We've got enrolling, so that's getting new people to join your team. Retention, so having those people join and then keeping them on your team, having them continuing to order products. Duplication, so that's teaching the people on your team how to do those things as well. And then leadership. And a lot of times in our calls, we talk about how we need to lead other people and how to lead other people. And we spend a lot of time figuring out how to motivate other people to do what we're doing. But we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about how we need to lead ourselves first. So that's what I'm going to jump into today. And who better to glean some wisdom from than none other than John Maxwell. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what he says about leading yourself, and then we'll get into some tangible examples. So John Maxwell says that even for him, who is like the master of leadership, leading himself is his greatest leadership challenge. So if he's saying that it's his leadership challenge, then I think we can all agree that it's our own biggest leadership challenge as well. So leading ourselves well gives us the credibility and moral authority to lead others well as well. So before we can lead others well, we need to learn how to lead ourselves. It's so much easier to tell other people what they should be doing than to actually do it ourselves. And a lot of times we end up doing what we want to do before what we should do, when in reality, to lead ourselves well, we need to be doing the things that we should do or the hard things first before we do the things that we want to do. And that will actually make us really appreciate getting the things done first that are difficult so that we can enjoy the easy and fun stuff. So something he talks about in The Power of Five, which I think we've all done as a book study, is to stop accepting our lives and start leading it. So what is the difference between people that just accept their lives and people that truly lead their lives? So people that accept their lives are the ones that hope things will work out. They put a lot of pressure on other people to make their day, or they put responsibilities on other people rather than looking to themselves to make their own day, or they just give all of that responsibility to other people rather than taking it onto themselves. People that lead their lives are the ones that are intentional and they take action, they exceed expectations, and they're consistent. We're going to break those down here a little bit. People that are intentional, that lead their lives, are intentional, and they realize that there's no perfect time to start. They stop getting ready to get ready. So people that are getting ready to get ready are the ones that are like making the list, or they are putting their information in their planners, and then they're not actually looking at those days and doing the things that they plan to do on those days, right? The people that are intentional are the ones that take their really good intentions and their great lists and all the things that they've planned, and they turn those into really good actions. So they're not optimists, but actionists. People that exceed expectations are the ones that set their standards really high for themselves first before they set any standards for anybody else. So they're the ones that make sure that they're doing far more than what's expected of them. And that's what good leaders and exceptional leaders do, is they go above and beyond what is expected. And then people that lead their lives are consistent. These are the ones that do the right things every single day. They have good routines. They establish a good reputation for themselves in their daily lives and with themselves first. So we're going to get into this a little bit when we talk about just leading ourselves in our everyday life, but making sure that they are building trust with themselves so that they know that they're capable of doing so much more. Every single person on our team gets exposure to great trainings and relationships and all of these great resources, but the people that are consistent with utilizing those and applying those are the ones that become exceptional leaders. So let's talk about leading ourselves in our everyday life first. So these are the people that lead their lives in their everyday lives are the ones that they're like the ones that want to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning and they do it every day, and then they get a little tired and maybe want to hit snooze, but they don't hit snooze, right? These are the ones that say, okay, it's really difficult. I don't want to get out of bed today, but I know that I can do hard things, and they get their butts out of bed. So these are the people that make promises to themselves and they stick to those promises to themselves. It shows integrity to other people, but not only that, it shows integrity and builds trust with ourselves. These are the people that are doing things that are great habits every single day, like making their bed, putting away their laundry after they wash it. And I'm saying these things to myself too, you guys. I have a basket of laundry in my closet for a week, okay? I'm not perfect, but these are things that if you develop good habits, you're gonna develop good habits in other areas of your life too. They're the ones that exercise and move their bodies, and they eat well, and they take care of the one body that they have been given. These people don't make excuses for not having time for things. So a lot of times we hear, especially in this business, but in lots of other things, that they just don't have time for certain activities. But these are the people that get up an hour earlier or stay up an hour later to make time for the things that are important to them. We make time for things that are important to us, otherwise we're going to make excuses, and people that are leaders of their lives do not make excuses. The last thing I want to talk about in leading our lives well is making sure that we're practicing our love language on ourselves. So this is kind of a newer concept to me, but I saw something on this that I wanted to share. But we oftentimes, especially I find myself doing this, I really put a lot of pressure on my spouse to be the one that shows me love in my love language. And even the love languages book kind of focuses on that, like making sure you love your spouse the way that they want to be loved. But instead of putting that responsibility on somebody else, what if we love ourselves the way that we need to be loved, right? So if you're somebody that likes words of affirmation, then write down words of affirmation, things that you love about yourself, and say those things to yourself every day. Why can't you do that for yourself, right? If you're somebody that likes quality time, make sure you find something that you love and make time for that so that you show yourself that you're worthy of that time. If you're somebody that likes gifts, then buy yourself a gift now and then just because you want to feel special. Don't put all of that responsibility on another person. You are allowed to make yourself feel loved and worthy, okay? So I really thought that was important and I wanted to share that. But now let's talk about leading yourself in Plexus. The very first and most simple and most important thing that we need to do to lead ourselves in Plexus is take our products. You guys, this is so simple. They ship it right to our door. It's not hard to take it out of the box and take our products. Mix your pink drink, take your capsules, make sure that you're making time to do that. It doesn't take a lot of time. We need to be a product of the product. So that means exercising, drinking all the water that we should be drinking in a day, eating as clean as possible, just showing up for ourselves. Because if we're not going to show up for them ourselves, how are we going to expect other people to show up for themselves? And we can't really tell people that they need to be doing these things if we're not doing them ourselves. So I want to challenge you to really make sure that you're being a product of the product. Next, take care of the people that you enroll. So we've had a ton of really great team calls, I know recently even, about how to provide really great customer service. And there's a ton of resources in the virtual office. in our team pages, lots of places to look for ways to take care of the people that we enroll. We are not running a welcome pack business here. So if you are signing people up and then not following up with them for that first 30 days especially, you are doing them a disservice and you're doing your business a disservice. We need to be making sure that they are taking their products longer than those first 30 days. Number one, for them to get the results that they were hoping to get, and they've entrusted you with their health in order to do that. But number two, if people aren't ordering their products every single month, then they are not going to be counting in your business and you're not going to be getting that residual income that you're looking for. So making sure that you are prioritizing and realizing that it's your responsibility to take care of the people that you enroll. You do have sponsors to help you, absolutely, but they should be there to lean on when you have a question about troubleshooting. They should be there to help answer questions, especially if you're newer. You might be leaning on them a little bit more, but it is still your responsibility to make sure that they are taken care of, especially in that first 30 days, really, really often. Next thing, do your IPA. So IPA stands for income producing activity or intentional producing activity. And this is a really important thing to be doing every single day and making sure that you are prioritizing it for you and your business. So not just following up with your team's chats, not just posting on social media, but actually doing the IPA. So if you're newer to this and you don't know what IPA is, there's a couple different types of IPA, or like seeds, I guess is the better word. And there is a 3-2-1 option and an action stack option. I'm not going to go into those today. There's a lot of resources on that in our team pages, and you can ask your sponsor if you've never been a part of our IPA chats before. But these are the things
we are actually as the philosophy of John Locke.
Can somebody mute yourself if you're not muted? Thanks. Okay, so making sure that we're not just posting on social media and hoping that people are going to reach back out to us, but we are also doing the reaching out and the following up with our people so that we can make sure that we're growing our business. So this needs to be at least 5 days a week. And in busier seasons, it might be like in busy business seasons, it might be that you're doing it more often. But at the very minimum, 3-2-1, and then 5 times a week so that you're consistently growing your business. Not just relying on your team to get new joins and not just relying on them to do the work, but really showing up yourself. I've had conversations with people recently where they've said like, you know, I wish my team was doing a little bit more. And I always have them. And when I ask myself this, I ask myself, what does your IPA look like? Are you showing up daily and showing your team that you're doing the work? Because our teams only are really going to do about 50% of what we do. So if we are not showing up and going above and beyond, then our team is not going to be showing up either. So really doing our IPA, being consistent with that is going to make our team do the same thing. The next thing is answer your own questions when you can. So I think this is super important. I can kind of get on a soapbox on this, but if you are somebody that has a lot of questions, I want you to ask yourself first, before you ask your sponsor, is there another place I could look before I ask them? A lot of times the answer is going to be yes. So I want to make sure that you are looking in Gut Health and Happiness, looking in the team pages, looking in the virtual office, and look 2 to 3 places before you ask your sponsor. That's always a good rule of thumb, is to look first and then ask after you've looked, because that way not only are you taking matters into your own hands and finding things so that you can help your team find them later, but it also is just empowering you to take control of your business and take ownership of your business so you know where things are at and that you can take care of your people independently. Budget your time and resources. So this one's really important too. And I find that this is where a lot of people struggle most, where they are not budgeting the time that they have for either their family or for Plexus correctly. And there's really not a correct way to do it, but just making sure that you remember that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And there are people that are busier than you and less busy than you that are making this work. So being busy is not really an excuse. And so what I want you to do is think of whatever you need to think of. Like, are you going to be budgeting time specifically to do Plexus that day and really budget that time and be intentional in that time? Or are you in a really big momentum with your team and so you're doing Plexus a lot and you need to budget time with your family? So it kind of can switch back and forth, or like teeter-totter is what I like to think of it. But in a normal month, you're kind of budgeting in your Plexus time and making sure that in the time that you have, you're really intentional about that time and using it wisely so that you're focused. But then when your team is in really big momentum and you're working all the time, or you're feeling like you're working all the time, I want you to budget in time for your family too. This will help you not be burnt out. It'll help your family feel supported still, and it'll keep you a little more harmonized. Rather than using the word balanced, it'll keep you harmonized so that you're not feeling like you're working all the time, but really budget it. There are some people that write down what they're doing every hour, every minute of every day, and if that's something that works for you, go for it. There are some people that write down, these are the 3 things that I need to get done today, and they fit those 3 things in when it works for them. Whatever works for you is fine, but realize that you have control of the 24 hours in your day. So make sure that you're utilizing them wisely. I know for me today, I had a kind of busy day, so I did not turn on the TV today. And a lot of people would say that they don't turn on the TV ever in a day. But I didn't sit on the couch, I didn't watch TV today because I knew I had stuff I needed to accomplish. So making sure that you realize it's your day, it's your time to do with what you need, but it's only on you if you don't get the things done in the day that you needed to get done. Okay, the next couple that I'm going to talk about are my favorite ones because I think they're the most exciting and powerful. So motivation definitely is there, especially in the beginning or when your team is doing really well. The motivation is going to be there, but it's not always going to be there. So sometimes we have to create it for ourselves. So a few different ways that I create motivation for myself are watching videos and trainings that really inspire me, vision casting for myself, which we're going to get into, and then I like to do really firing up and exciting things prior to doing something that I really am kind of putting off or not really wanting to do. So that could be like, okay, I really wanted to get this call put together for sure, but I was feeling like I needed it to be perfect, so I kept like waiting a little bit longer because I had all these ideas that I needed to get down. So what really helped me get excited about it is I love to make graphics. So I made my graphic, and then I was like pumped up to get this ready so that I could make this presentation for you guys. So that's just one example for me that works for me. Or from gold to senior Ruby at least, and I still do this now, I was finding videos and trainings that I knew would inspire me prior to my day even starting. So I would listen to really inspiring podcasts and videos from other people in Plexus while I got ready for work in the morning. And some people that I really like to follow, if you want to write these down. Obviously, everybody that's a jewel in our team page, definitely follow those people and watch their videos. Go into our team pages and search things that maybe are places of growth for you. So like if you need to work on retention or if you need to work on recruiting, you can search in the search bar for those things and you'll find tons of videos that come up and you can listen to those. Or some people that I really love are Jill Renfro, Brooke Hemingway, Emily Gibson, Christy Jacks. I would literally go on YouTube and search their name and find different things that they have made videos on, and I would listen to them. Even if I had listened to them before, I would listen to them again because I knew that it would pump me up and get me excited for my workday and for my class. So whatever you've got to do, find something that excites you before you work. And I promise you your time that you're working will be more focused and you'll be more motivated to do it. I think that's everything I wanted to say. So vision casting for yourself, I kind of alluded to, but this is something I've been doing since the very beginning, and I think it's super effective. So some things that I do for myself are, for instance, the month that I was ranking up Sapphire, which was a couple months ago, I only wrote in a blue pen all month long. I bought myself a blue bathing suit so that I could because it was in the summer, so that every time I was doing summery activities, I was thinking of what my goals were. And then the month that I went, or the year that I was going for Emerald, I remember like literally planning out my outfit to the T of what I was going to wear across the stage. And I was imagining myself on that stage holding my Emerald box. And I would imagine this so vividly, you guys, that I would cry. And this really motivated me to do the things every day to work hard to get myself there. So really visualize yourself at that next rank. Visualize yourself at the next Plexus event being that rank. Those are the things that really encourage me. And then I want you to, if maybe that's not your thing, or maybe you need a little extra, sometimes people make vision boards. So that can be like a physical vision board of things that you like copy and paste out of magazines. Or for me, I use my phone background, and you can make a collage of pictures that's in your phone background, so that every time you're looking at your phone, you are encouraged and reminded of your why and what you're working towards. Writing down affirmations is huge. So writing down things that you love about yourself, things you love about Plexus, whatever it is, and writing them down everywhere so that you're reminded every day how capable you are of getting to your next rank or wherever your goal is. Yeah. The last thing about vision casting for yourself that really helps me too is whenever I'm in a tough spot or kind of grappling with myself on whether I want to do something or not, I think, how would a diamond handle this situation, right? So would a diamond tell themselves they don't have time to read for book club? Would a diamond tell themselves that they don't have time to get on the phone with somebody? Would a diamond tell themselves they don't have time for team calls and book clubs? They absolutely would not. Or whatever rank you're at, in general, would a leader make excuses for those things? They wouldn't. So if you're on, well, we're going to get to that in a second. If you're on this team call and book club, way to go for not making an excuse for yourself. But definitely asking yourself how the person at that next rank or the rank that you're going for would handle that situation really motivates me to do the things that are necessary to be successful. So speaking of team calls and book clubs, making sure that you are on these. This is an absolute must for personal growth and development and for growth of your Plexus business as well. Things that are important with team calls and book clubs are have your video on. It is so amazing and nice to connect with everybody and see everybody's faces. That is the beauty of this, is that we can actually see each other and connect and learn from one another. So make sure that your video is on. And then my tip for book club is find something each week that you want to share about and make sure that you speak up on those book clubs. If you are somebody that wants to hold a leadership position in this company, then you need to be finding things that are sticking out to you in these chapters and sharing them with people. That's going to stretch you, grow you, develop you into a leader to add value on each of those calls. So making sure that you are speaking up as often as you can. The last thing is to get organized. Oops. I need to go back. Shoot. Guys, I'm so not tech savvy. Here we go. Get organized. So making sure that you are doing whatever works for you to be organized in your business. So for me, that is a planner. I use a planner. I write down everything I'm going to do on every day. And then what's the trick? Actually doing those things, taking action and making sure you're doing the things that you've written down in your planner. But I know there's a lot of really great apps out there. Some people just make really great lists, but it's up to you and you only to get your own ducks in a row. So figure out how you stay organized and how you will remember all these things and do those things and stick to it. It's not up to anybody else but you to figure out how you're going to be able to keep track of all of that. Definitely lean on your sponsor, especially if you're new, but they can help you figure out a way that'll work best for you and the way that you learn and you stay organized. So just to wrap it all up and remind us that our success is only our responsibility. It's nobody else's responsibility. We could have the most amazing sponsor and upline and the most amazing team ever, but if we are not showing up for ourselves, then we're not going to grow. So making sure that you remember that the responsibility lies on your shoulders only, and the other things are there as support systems for you. It is our name on our Plexus deliveries. So when those get to our front door, it's up to us to take the products out of the box, take the products every day, and do the things to make them work well, like eat well, exercise, and drink water. And it is only our name on our paychecks. So remembering that it's up to us to do all the things we mentioned in order to be successful. So I'm going to wrap it up with one more John Maxwell quote. When we lead ourselves well, everything else good flows from there. So I hope this was really helpful, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I love talking to you all about this, and I hope you have a really great night. Bye, guys.